Hello and welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to discuss Kingdom Monera. Actually, we have already started this and we have discussed about Archaebacteria, and now we are discussing Eubacteria. And in Eubacteria there are two divisions, that are bacteria and cyanobacteria, as we have already read about that. And now we have already discussed about bacterial generalized structure. So for that you have to watch the previous videos to get in link with the topic. And today we are going to discuss about bacteria, respiration in bacteria. So according to mode of respiration in bacteria, we have four types of bacteria. Okay, the first one is obligate aerobes. Obligate aerobes means they don't know, obligate means they do not have any other option, right? Okay, in terms of bacteria they do not have any other option, so they have to respire aerobically. Respire aerobically. Respire only aerobically. Okay, so aerobically means they need free oxygen to respire. For example, if I take like Bacillus Bacillus subtilis. Okay, this is the example of obligate aerobes. They respire only aerobically. And when it comes about facultative aerobes means they respire mainly aerobically, but they can respire anaerobically according to the environmental condition. If there is deficiency of free oxygen, then they'll respire anaerobically. Otherwise they respire aerobically only. Okay, for example, Clostridium tetani. Okay, Clostridium tetani. Clear? Now comes the another one, third bacteria, that are obligate anaerobes. Means they respire only anaerobically. They do not respire aerobically in any terms. Okay, so they do not need oxygen, free oxygen to respire. They respire anaerobically. Okay, for example, Clostridium botulinum. Clostridium botulinum. Okay, so they have to respire anaerobically. Now here comes the fourth and the last one, facultative anaerobes. Facultative anaerobes means they do not only respire anaerobically, but if there are conditions where free oxygen is available, they respire aerobically as well. Okay, they can respire aerobically as well. Okay, example of facultative anaerobes are Rhodopseudomonas. Okay, this is Rhodopseudomonas. Sorry, there is a lack of space here. Okay, so Rhodopseudomonas. Okay, so this is about the respiration in bacteria, and there are, according to that, there are four types of bacteria: obligate aerobes, facultative aerobes, obligate anaerobes, and facultative anaerobes. Clear? Obligate means they have to respire aerobically in obligate aerobes, and then comes the facultative aerobes, means they can respire anaerobically as well. Obligate anaerobes, they have to respire anaerobically only. Facultative anaerobes means they can respire aerobically if there is presence of free oxygen in environment. Otherwise they respire anaerobically only. Okay, clear? I hope this much is clear. We'll moving towards the next, that is the nutrition in bacteria. So next one is nutrition in bacteria. Nutrition in bacteria, from where they can get their food. Okay, so this is of two types. Broadly, this is of two types, that is autotrophic mode of nutrition, and another one is heterotrophic. I'm so sorry about the spelling. Heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Autotrophic, self, they prepare food by themselves, depends on other. Okay, they depends on another animals or plants for their food. Clear? So in autotrophic nutrition, okay, in autotrophic nutrition, they are further broadly divided into two types. Number one is photosynthetic, photoautotrophic, not photosynthetic. Photoautotrophic bacteria. Second one is chemosynthetic bacteria. Okay, we'll discuss in detail. So let me clear this first. The number one is photoautotrophic bacteria. Okay, so photoautotrophic bacteria means they'll need solar energy for the production of food. Okay, so first one is needed solar energy. Second one, they should have some pigment to entrap this solar energy, solar rays. Okay, so that pigment is present in these bacteria, and they are bacteriochlorophyll and the next one is bacteriophyophytin. Okay, phyophytin, this is O. Okay, one is bacteriochlorophyll, another one is bacteriophyophytin, and they are present where? They are present in the membrane bound lamellae. Membrane bound lamellae. Okay, that is thylakoid. They also have thylakoids like plants. Okay, so they utilize the solar energy for that, to production of food. But another important point is here no oxygen is evolved, unlike the plants. Okay, so this type of photosynthesis where oxygen is not evolved is known as anoxygenic photosynthesis. Okay, anoxygenic photosynthesis. Clear? So what happens here? Instead of water, H2S is used as source of reducing power. Okay, clear? So what is the equation involved here? Carbon dioxide plus H2S in presence of light energy light energy, there is the production of sugar, sulfur and water. Okay, clear? Moving towards the next. Second type of bacteria in autotrophic bacteria is chemosynthetic. Chemosynthetic bacteria. Chemosynthetic bacteria, what they do? They actually manufacture organic compounds from inorganic raw material. Okay, and also they utilize energy that is liberated from oxidation of inorganic substances. Let me write it down here. Okay, utilize energy which is liberated, or we can say that which are produced, liberated from oxidation of what? Oxidation of inorganic substances. Okay, and these inorganic substances produces energy which is further utilized to make organic compounds. Okay, clear? Like bacteria that are involved here are like nitrifying bacteria. Another one is sulfur oxidizing bacteria. Okay, clear? I hope this much is clear. This portion covers the autotrophic mode of nutrition in bacteria. Okay, so moving towards the next mode of nutrition, that is heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Okay, clear? We are clearing this one now. So heterotrophic bacteria which depends on other for their food. Okay, so or we can say that who are unable to manufacture their own organic food. Okay, so hence they depend on others for the their nutrition. Okay, so these are of further 3 types. These are of 3 types. Okay, this color is not visible much, right? So 3 types. Let me draw this. 3 types. Okay, so number 1 is saprophytic bacteria. Second one is symbiotic bacteria. Third one is parasitic bacteria. Okay, so saprophytic bacteria which depend on dead organic matter for their nutrition. Okay, depends on dead organic matter. Okay, for their nutrition. Okay, and for example of this is Pseudomonas. Okay, clear? Next comes the symbiotic bacteria. Symbiotic bacteria is a type of association in which uh, both the parties get benefited, like the the host and the prey. Okay, both are get benefited here. There, or we can say that it's a mutually beneficial association. Beneficial association between the two organisms. Between the two organisms. Okay, and in this both in this type of association, the bacteria derive the essential nutrition from the host, and they produce in that process the bacteria helps the host through some of their biological activities. Okay, for example, if I take nitrogen fixing bacteria, it's present in plants roots. Okay, so they help the plants to get nitrogen from the atmosphere. Okay, nitrogen fixing bacteria. Okay, Escherichia coli. There are many more examples of this symbiotic bacteria. Okay, next comes the parasitic bacteria. Parasitic. So these bacteria lives in or on the host. Okay, and most importantly, they do not benefit the host, do not benefit the host for their because of their presence. Okay, so they are called pathogens. Okay, because they only produce they only harm the host. Okay, they are called pathogens. Clear? They live in or on the host and they do not benefit the host, and even though they even harm, damage the host. So they are called parasitic bacteria, and this is known as, for example, is Clostridium tetani. Clostridium tetani. Okay, Clostridium tetani, we have already read about it in our respiration. They are facultative anaerobes. Okay, remember that one. Next, we have completed our nutrition here, nutrition in bacteria. Let's move towards the next point, that is the reproduction. What is the meaning of reproduction? Reproduction is the production of progeny, new progeny from the parents. Okay, production of progeny, and this can be of two types in bacteria. Two types: asexual, another one is sexual. Okay, asexual method or sexual method. Clear? Two types. Now here we have, let me change this. So here we have asexual mode of reproduction, and it means the gametes are not involved here. Okay, means the gametes are like female and male gametes are there. So in asexual reproduction, the gametes are not involved, or in whereas in sexual, the gametes are involved. Okay, so number one, this is of also three types here. Number one is fission. In fission, the bacteria divides transversely into almost two equal daughter cells. Okay, like if this is the bacteria, okay, yeah, if this is the bacteria, it divides transversely to produce two equal progeny. Fission means टूटना, fusion means जुड़ना. Okay, fission. Next comes the second one, that is budding. In this form, budding, vegetative outgrowths can be seen on the bacteria, and which results into formation of new organism after maturity. If I consider this as a bacteria and this is the outgrowth, okay, this is the outgrowth present, okay, after further growth, okay, after further growth this will bud off after maturity. Okay, after maturity this bud gets detached from the parent and act as another mature bacteria. Okay, this is called as bud, vegetative outgrowth. Okay, and this whole process is known as budding. Clear? Next comes the third, that is spore formation. Spore formation. Spore is something, minute structures are present. So they are non-motile spores like conidia. So sorry about this spelling. It's conidia. Conidia. Okay. Idiospores and endospores are formed here. Okay, clear? I hope this much is clear to you. Okay, so now I'm going to insert an image here which I need to enlarge further. So let it be here. Here. Is that image? Wait. Okay, just give me a second. Yeah, let me enlarge this for you. In sexual mode of nutrition, there are three types of okay. So sexual mode of reproduction, although sexes are not separate differentiated in bacteria, but there are three types, or we can say that three methods of genetic recombination that are characterized under sexual reproduction in bacteria. Okay, so number one comes with transformation. Okay, wait, number one is transformation, number one. Okay, number two is conjugation, this is number two, and number three is transduction, this is number three. Clear? This one is number three, this one is number two. Now let me explain you about this. So in transformation, transformation was first described or discovered by F. Griffith. Okay, first described by or discovered by F. Griffith in 1928. Okay, and what it is nothing but the uptake and incorporation of DNA from the environment by the bacterial cell. Okay, let me explain this with the help of diagram. See, this is the dead organism, the dead bacteria. Okay, and this is the genetic material, and we can say that bacterial chromosome. From that, this portion, okay, this portion is being transferred from the dead organism that is present in the bacteria, that is DNA released from the dead bacteria, and this bacteria is again taken up by the living bacteria, or we can say that recipient bacteria. Okay, and this will get incorporated in this bacterial chromosomes. Living bacteria take up the dead bacterial DNA which is being released by the dead bacteria, taken up by the living bacteria, and then this DNA segment is being incorporated in the bacterial chromosome. Okay, recipient bacterial chromosome. Clear? This is the transformation. Next comes the transduction. Okay, let me change the color now. Sorry, next comes the conjugation, not transduction. We first discussed the conjugation. So conjugation was first discovered by the two scientists, that is Lederberg and Tatum. Lederberg and and Tatum in 1946. Okay, what happens in conjugation is, if I take an example of E. coli, okay, transfer of genetic material through sex pili. There are, we have, when we are discussing about the generalized structure of bacteria, we have discussed about the pillars present on the surface, which we have already discussed in our previous video. Okay, so also watch that video to understand this sex pili or pillars description or use. Okay, to get more familiar with this term pillars. So this pillars is present on the bacterial surface, and through this you can see that through this the bacteria, donor bacteria, if we say, donor bacteria will donate its DNA fragment into the recipient bacteria through this pillars. Okay, when their pillars is included, this is also known as the sex pillars, also known as the sex pillars. Sex pillars or pili. Okay, so through this the genetic material is being transferred from one bacteria to the other one. Okay, now comes the last but not the least, this transduction. Okay, if we talk about transduction, it was first discovered by the two scientists, that is Zinder and Lederberg. Zinder and Lederberg in 1952. Okay, and also if I name the bacteria, that is the Salmonella typhimurium. Salmonella typhimurium. Okay, this is the bacteria in which Zinder and Lederberg discovered transduction. Okay, in this, the transfer of genetic material is by bacteriophage. Bacteriophage is what? Virus. Okay, you can see that these structures, these are bacteriophage. These are the bacteria. Actually, what happened? The bacteriophage first insert their genetic material into the bacteria. Okay, then that genetic material get incorporated in the bacterial chromosome. Then the prophage is formed. That prophage is again being form the bacteriophage, which has both the bacterial chromosome as well as the bacteriophage chromosome, and that outbursts the cell membrane. Okay, and then these bacteriophage get released into the environment, and again they'll meet the recipient cell and then or other cell, and then they'll again attach to the surface of the bacterial cell, and then they release their genetic material, and that genetic material get incorporated into the recipient bacteria. Clear? So transformation given by F. Griffith. In this, the genetic material of dead bacteria is released, and that is being uptaken by the recipient bacteria, which is further get incorporated in the bacterial chromosome. Next, conjugation. In conjugation, the genetic material is being transferred from the help of sex pillars. Okay. The next, and this one is given by Lederberg and Tatum in 1946. Now, last but not the least, transduction. In transduction, the bacteria genetic material is being transferred from the help of bacteriophage. Okay, this is being given by Zinder and Lederberg in 1952, and they studied in Salmonella typhimurium. Okay, this is about the reproduction, sexual reproduction. Yeah. Now we are moving towards the next, the economic importance. Let me change the size. Economic importance of bacteria. Economic importance included where these bacteria are useful for mankind. Okay, so for example, saprophytic bacteria like Bacillus vulgaris convert amino acids into ammonia gas in soil. Okay, saprophytic bacteria like Bacillus vulgaris, this convert amino acids into ammonia gas in soil. Okay, next comes the lactobacillus, which is used in preparation of lactic acid. Lactobacillus helps in production of lactic acid, same as Acetobacter acetic acid. I'm sorry. Then comes the let me take some more examples like Clostridium, Clostridium perfringens and Pseudomonas fluorescens are useful in retting of fibers. Clostridium perfringens, let me erase this, okay. Fringens, it's fringens. I'm so sorry. Fringens, okay, and plus Pseudomonas fluorescens. Pseudomonas fluorescens. These two helps in retting of fibers. Okay, they are under microbial control. Okay, so next comes in azospirillum, okay, which help in nitrogen fixing, which is a nitrogen fixing bacteria for paddy fields. Azospirillum, nitrogen fixing bacteria for paddy fields. Okay, let me underline that. Okay, this much is clear, I guess. Saprophytic bacteria, one is Bacillus vulgaris, okay, that convert amino acids into ammonia gas. Okay, ammonia gas in soil. Lactobacillus helps in preparation of lactic acid, same as Acetobacter acetic acid. Clostridium perfringens and Pseudomonas fluorescens is help in under the control of microbial under microbial control. They produce or they help in retting of fibers. Okay, next comes the Azospirillum, which is a nitrogen fixing bacteria in paddy fields. Okay, this is about the bacteria. Next we'll discuss about cyanobacteria. Okay, cyanobacteria or say blue-green algae in the next video. Please do like, subscribe and share my video, and if you have any doubt, drop it in the comment section or email me if you need any help or any special tuition classes.